Welcome to your Daily 5 for Friday, September 3rd, 2021. Almost the end of the quarter. Oh my gosh. I am today's host, Bruce Frazier. We are going to explore the Wyckoff 5. If you'd like to find more great information on the Wyckoff Method, here are some resources. My blog is at StockCharts.com. Also, there's great free content at WyckoffAnalytics.com, Ramon's website. Wyckoff market discussion, we just recorded one on Wednesday. It was an open door session. You are invited to watch it. The YouTube link is going to be on the description page for this Wyckoff 5, your Daily 5 episode. So just go there and click right in. Very important. The Technical Securities Analysts Association of San Francisco has their annual fall conference September 18th, and there is a phenomenal lineup of speakers, including your Daily 5's very own Chris Kimball. And there's going to be wonderful discussions, charting, wisdom, all day long. It's going to be recorded. Members can watch live or recorded. It is included with membership. The TSAA-SF is an educational society in all things technical analysis. You are encouraged to become a member of this great organization. Also, thank you to StockCharts.com, who is a co-sponsor of this event. And so please join up, become a member, TSAA-SF.org. Two industry groups that we're going to drill into today, the steel index and the aluminum index, stodgy old industrial themes that have been really laggards, underperformers for years and years. So here, what I've done with the weekly charts of these two industry groups is I've actually included two relative strength charts. The one on top is the S&P 500 in relationship to the steel index, and the one underneath is the NASDAQ 100. Well, we think of the NASDAQ 100 as being just this very difficult index to be able to keep up with for most stocks, most industry groups. And here, notice that on a relative strength basis, long-term, big base built, uptrend against the S&P 500 for the steel group, but look at the performance of the steel group to the NASDAQ 100. It is outperforming many of the growth stocks. It's in the stellar NASDAQ 100 mega cap index. Fantastic. Now, look over here at the aluminum index, long-term downtrend, and there's a much longer downtrend that even precedes this. This downtrend was finally turned in late 2020 in the S&P 500. Relative strength is now rising upward. Well, also for the NASDAQ 100, it is rising here. Also, the aluminum index is also a stealth outperformer against all stocks, including some of the so-called growth names. We are going to look at 5 stocks, 3 from the steel group, 2 from the aluminum group, starting with Nucor Corp. And across here, you see a very large reaccumulation type structure. We know that a cause forms prior to an advance. So there's been an advance out of this accumulation area after an important shakeout at the COVID low. Note the downtrend in the relative strength into mid-2020. Now an uptrend has formed. Nucor is a leading stock against the S&P 500, and as we saw against the NASDAQ 100, upward it goes, beautiful uptrending channel. Let's go to the daily. The daily shows there's a buying climax, an automatic reaction, range-bound condition. In short order, it jumped up and out with a sign of strength and a backup. The backup to old resistance, new support is often an excellent place to look for an opportunity to enter into a trade or add to existing positions. Here is a reaccumulation in the relative strength and a backup there also. Chaikin is confirming the upward jump up and out of this reaccumulation area. Notice on Nucor, this large area back to 2017, actually 2007 is a very large structure. I encourage you to make a chart of this and have a look at this very large structure, which broke out in the area of around $60. Upward it goes. It's still in the area of 115, and this large accumulation area right here counts upward 336 to 366. We still think of Nucor as being a relative strength leader and a campaign candidate for an important advance even from here. There'll certainly be halts along the way, but very impressive. Steel Dynamics. Steel Dynamics, here is a weekly chart that goes back to 2018. Beautiful basing structure. This is a cause build. Also notice in the yellow shaded area, cause build in the relative strength. I love to look for relative strength, and I actually count those with point figure analysis. Downward trend has been reversed. Now relative strength is leading. When we see relative strength leading and price leading, we expect that to persist for some long indefinite time into the future. This area I have counted on a long-term weekly basis, it counts 98 to 116. Remember those numbers, we turn to the daily, and you can see a beautiful reaccumulation structure in the daily chart, buying climax, automatic reaction, range-bound condition. A spring comes in the middle of this area, which creates a cathartic change of character where it's up and out into a sign of strength and a backup. We know that backups can be excellent places for execution of trades. Also the spring and the tests on the way up. Here is a positive Chaikin money flow to confirm the higher prices. Relative strength is also building a daily base with a backup. Looks good. Now we've also counted, remember I asked you to remember the count back here. Well, let's just take a peek, 98 to 116. And here we are on this daily area that we just evaluated. This counts up 106 to 117 in the area of 67 right now. So has a substantial room to run. This count on the daily confirms the larger count, Steel Dynamics, that we looked at on the weekly. Also look back on Steel Dynamics for larger counts historically. All of these historically. Cleveland Cliffs weekly chart, look at this large structure back to early 2017, climactic surge here, automatic reaction, range bound condition, the climax sets up resistance, also support at the automatic reaction. And here is a shakeout type action with a test. Upward trend follows, change of character after the COVID low, beautiful upward surge, barely pauses on the resistance and the breakout. Finally, a test here, trending higher. There's a reason why it's trending. It's sort of working its way through overhead resistance and absorbing overhead supply. Nice base in the weekly relative strength, and then this upward trend, all being confirmed with higher prices. And here is Cleveland Cliffs on the daily. Two reaccumulations on the dailies stacked on top of each other, positive relative strength throughout. And you can see that there's work being done here where it tries to work its way through overhead supply. And the Chaikin money flow has gotten very strong on the jump up to the resistance area. Looks like it wants to break out. Well, here's what's going on. Back in 2013, you have a high back here at around $25, $26, and it's trying to work through this area now, which is, I believe, the reason for all the volatility up into the highs. This very large accumulation structure on the point figure counts back from late 2020 back to 2014, gives a count 59 to 68. on a 5-box method, half-point scaling, and currently around $25 for Cleveland Cliffs. So room to run, relative strength is confirming. Alcoa, now we're going into the aluminum names. Big base in the relative strength is defined by this shaded yellow box. Nice base forming here in the weekly chart. I did a point and figure chart. You cannot see that here, but in the area of $46, $47 currently, but this large count structure counts 111 to 136. So keep that in mind. And then here, notice the high that was formed in 2018. This is a form of resistance. And so upward trend in relative strength, upward trend in price. This should persist for some period of time. Alcoa daily. Look at this really attractive daily reaccumulation structure. It's a beauty. Buying climax here. We draw a overhead supply line over the market here, and it's gone right up into it. This is a overbought condition, buying climax, automatic reaction, range bound state. We draw resistance at the buying climax, support at the automatic reaction. Look at how well it contained all of the trading thereafter. Now a sign of strength is slightly taken out the buying climax, and then a return, a decline back into the structure to a higher low from the spring low, and is rallying up and making another new high, cathartic condition where it went off the LPS and just started to run. Chaikin is positive. Looks like this could very well be a complete structure. Let's count this. And here we can see this is a 1-box reversal swing trading point and figure chart. And this has a 1-box scaling. We count across the area that we've just evaluated from the LPS over to the decline after the buying climax. This gives us a 23-point count range, takes us 54 to 60, currently around 46, 47. So swing trading count here, but much larger count in this area, 111 to 136. Go check out the longer term chart. Okay, final chart, Constellium, NV, aluminum company. This is the beginning of trading back here. Very large accumulation type structure with a big climactic decline into 2015. Automatic rally here, range bound condition. We draw resistance and support across these areas, attempts to stay above these areas, but can't do it, comes back into the accumulation structure at the COVID low. It makes a higher low from 2015 and slightly springs these two lows right here, and then a cathartic turn up and out of this accumulation area. Here is a yellow shaded box, a very, very large relative strength basing structure. Now it's in a rising trend of relative strength, a rising trend of price. These are confirming each other. We will look at the point and figure chart of this. This is a very large chart going back to 2015. Here's the climax. So we're counting from the backup after the jump up and out to the climax. 5-box reversal method, 31 columns, half-point scaling, gives us a count, 77.5 points, takes us up to 81 to 92. Substantial upward move from here, currently at $21, $22. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time on Your Daily 5.